天上太阳红呀红彤彤哎，心中的太阳是毛泽东哎，他领导我们的解放哎，真理翻身当家做主人。
I'm a pure-blood American, born and raised, and while I love my silly country, I'm jealous of the Chinese versions of our games. Don't get me wrong, they're not very good or anything, but looking at some of these games, it's crazy how much more unique they are than our games. Not only are some of these games free to play, with a lot of microtransactions, but they usually completely replace the actual series of games. Meaning, if you're a full-on Xiaomi Ma-flinging person, chances are you've played one of these games. I also want to mention the fact that I'm not specifically saying that these games are better than the Western versions. I'm saying they're more unique, and that they're simply just cool to stare at. Some of the versions of these games are completely buggy messes, they're pay to win, or unplayable due to them being shut down. But it's the idea behind them that I think surpasses the Western versions, which always try to play it safe. So before I start yapping, as the kids say, I want to say that I love the CCP and being chilling down at the TikTok Riz party. Gayat. So sit back as I tell you why Chinese versions of Western games are awesome. Do I even need to tell you what this game is? Everyone and their mothers knows what Plants vs. Zombies is. Oh, I still have to explain. Well, for the 3 people who don't know what this game is, Plants vs. Zombies, or as I'll call it for the rest of this section, PvZ is a tower defense strategy game where you use plants, well, to fight zombies. I know, it's a crazy concept, you would have never guessed it from the section title, whatever. The game was developed and published by PopCap, which this, in a little series known as Bejeweled, sent them into the freaking atmosphere and put their names on the map. There's been a ton of PvZ games with communities formed all around them at some point. The series in the past few years has been in a, well, let's just say not a good state. And while they've hit bangers before, we don't know when they'll actually start listening to the community that loves the original formula. So while there's hundreds of videos going over the lore of PvZ in the West, there's a lot less going over the Chinese version of the game. They do exist. Sylvia YSI has 2 amazing videos going over them, and I really recommend you guys go check him out. He goes over them in a lot more detail, and these videos go up to like 60 minutes worth of content for Chinese PvZ. And if you want more content like that, he's the man. So what's so special about the Chinese PvZ games? Well, aside from being called 日文大少惊喜, which just sounds really silly to me, they also hold a lot of extra content that Western PvZ just doesn't have. And while a lot of this content isn't the best, it's still very interesting to see what they've added, such as a daily challenge that consists of 3 different modes, 2 of which being last stand like modes, and 1 being a stage where every time you defeat a Yeti, it drops you rewards. First off, on the major additions, we have Plant Adventures, which acts like a quest system in some sort of gacha game. You send unlocked plants on an adventure, and they come back with rewards. There's also an endless mode that seems really fucking cool. It played in a sort of last stand like mode where you can't use most sun producing plants, but after each wave you get sun to place more stuff. The max level was 149, but even if you failed, you didn't lose any progress. And if at any point you wanted to start from the beginning again to regain rewards, you could do it once a day for free. Now they say it was a worldwide competition, but like, it's the Chinese version of the game, so I don't exactly know how that works. And the higher your rank was, the more rewards you got every day that the competition was going on. Honestly, something like that would go crazy in international PvZ too. The final thing I want to talk about with Chinese PvZ is the 2-player mode. Yes, Chinese people have a 2-player mode, and we're still mauling about it being locked behind the Xbox version of the game. It's called 2-player mode, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like a PvP mode. The video in the background is from a YouTuber known as Flag Zombie. He makes PvZ content, and since I don't have access to the Chinese version of the game, and I don't want to go through all the loops to play it, the best I can do is use his gameplay. So again, if you're interested in Chinese PvZ content, he is the man. I will have him linked in the description below. Getting back on track, we have 2 players with 3 lanes each. You get 100 suns every 10 seconds, and once filling up a bar, you could upgrade to level 2 to get an extra 100 suns. This also unlocks placing better plants that go all the way up to level 5. Each player has 20 health, and by sending zombies to the player, you can take their health down, and if it reaches 0, you win. It's as simple as that. Even my friend Xi Jinping could do it. Huh. Shit. I know that made the little receptors in your brain go off. I can sense it from my ass sweat stained chair. Probably the most popular Chinese version of a Western game known by Westerners is Call of Duty Online. The Chinese version of Call of Duty, that while being a buggy, mismatched bundle of different CoD games that had things like mechs, cyborgs, zombies, and even booty. And more, obviously. It was an extremely interesting game that instead of having a new game every year like most CoDs, it was worked on as a singular game, meaning the content was quite abundant. Also, thank you Merc Daddy for having so much CoD Online gameplay for me to use for this video, I love you. So what exactly made this game interesting? Well, it had a ton of different game modes, skins, guns, character models, and much more. The game even ran off the old IW 4.0 engine, the same engine that Modern Warfare 2 used. There's a few reasons for this game's existence. Unlike PvZ, Call of Duty really didn't exist in China before CoD Online due to, well, you know, censorship issues. So in 2011, Activision partnered with good old Tencent to make a CoD game that followed the great Xi Jinping's rulebook. Thus, in 2012, the beta for CoD Online was dropped. Though, while the beta came out in 2012, the story doesn't really start until sometime in 2016 with the popular YouTuber Merc Music creating a video going over the game. And yes, there were videos before Merc, but Merc was and probably still is the biggest YouTuber to show the West what this game was about. And people ate it up. Millions of hot, sweaty, stinky gamers were all asking, So while the game uses the same maps as other CoDs, the guns and characters are completely batshit insane looking. The question is, why did they do this? Well, because it's China. And like most Asians, if your game doesn't have a gacha system or cute anime women, is it really a game? And hey, I'm not complaining. Here's what Chinese gamers get to look at, and here's what Western gamers get to look at. Jokes! These are jokes. The zombies were also changed to cyborgs because Chinese people aren't allowed to have fun. Again, it's a joke. The zombies mode itself isn't the same as Western CoD, with it being more of a multiplayer game mode rather than its own personal thing. The maps remain similar to actual CoD maps, though with some changes, and while there's a mystery box, as you can see from the Merc Music gameplay, it's a lot less selective than the Western CoD. I remember when I was a little Rizzler wanting to play this game. I would wish upon a star every night that this game would come to America, but that dream never came true, as the game was sadly shut down in 2021 due to the more popular CoD Mobile taking over.
RIP Call of Duty Online. The legendary Chinese-only Call of Duty game is unfortunately saying Zaijian to all of us. I would say goodbye to CoD Online, but unfortunately I have to say RIP because the game is being shut down.
And while I will say that CoD Mobile isn't a bad game or anything, for a mobile game, I really wish we had a definitive CoD game that pushed infinite amounts of content out of its ass. Well, you know as they say, sha nai. If you're sad you missed out, be sad, loser. But no, in all seriousness, while the game is no longer able to be played, the memory of the game will forever last in our minds. Finn. Oh, I forgot we had one more topic. Do you guys like Minecraft? I mean, of course you do. Just look at how many views you guys gave me on my Minecraft videos. Well, if that's the case, I have a Minecraft Bing Chilling edition. I also apologize if I can't give much information about this game, as unlike Chinese PvZ and CoD Online, there really isn't a lot of information about this game other than the wiki and a few YouTubers that jumped the Great Firewall. Getting back on track, this is the official Chinese version of the game that has over 500 million recorded users. While this game is technically the most played version of the game, it's not the most popular, as many Chinese players prefer the actual version of Minecraft. Why is this, you might ask? Well, while the Chinese version of the game may have a ton of content, like most Chinese ports of games, it heavily lacks in optimization overall. Playing the game on the phone is possible, but very slow. Not only that, but it's heavily monetized like most free-to-play Chinese games, and it even requires you to send in your ID just to play. That's not far off the course for what most Chinese games will do, but for a game like Minecraft, which unlike CoD Online is a kid's game, it just doesn't make much sense. And in any case, it's easy for kids to simply use their parents' ID to bypass any restrictions. So what's so unique about this game? Well, while it has similar features like a single player mode, multiplayer mode, and Minecraft-like features, It also has a lot of custom bosses, items, and even mobs. There's a new dimension also in the game called the Apocalypse Realm, an RPG-like endgame where you fight bosses and get better loot. There is little known about this mode, and finding gameplay on it was not very easy. This game also has a lot of microtransactions. I'm using a YouTuber known as Fundy for these clips. If you want to see the full video going over this game, please go check him out. He makes good content. As you can see from some of these clips though, the game sure does have a high budget. And there's a reason for that. While the game is free, it's heavily monetized, not having a single premium currency, but multiple. The main currency seems to be diamonds, but there's also emeralds, Minecraft dye, and a Minecoin looking coin. There's more, but those are the easiest ones to point out. Luckily, a lot of these currencies do nothing but give you cosmetics, and I'll just say it. I want a version of Minecraft where we have this too. Obviously, I want the OG simple Minecraft, but look at how cool these swords look.
So I think you can select a replacement for certain swords. So you can make your wooden sword look like that.
All of it, the skins, the items, the buddy system. Obviously, with Minecraft costing money, I wouldn't want it to cost a bunch of real world money, but if they could find a balance of giving players currency to buy shit for free, as well as speed up the process for money, I'd be down. And sadly, there's not really much more to share about this game, so I'll throw out that it runs on the Bedrock edition of the game, meaning bugs are abundant. It wouldn't be an ESON video if I didn't talk about controversy. Luckily for you, there really isn't many that I need to go over. Starting with Minecraft, when it seems most Chinese players think that the game is ass, and the only people who really play it are people who can't afford to jump the Great Firewall in order to play the international version of the game. So the next question is why? Why is it so shitty? Well, it seems that not only does it run really shitty, but it also has censorship issues. It's so bad to the point where it seems that players weren't even able to write on books or signs during the 2020 Ryokai, which doesn't really translate to English very well, but it pretty much is a joint conference between the houses, and this seems specific to China. Hey Jiddle Yangs, this is a little update to some controversy. After watching the Mr. Epic's video on Minecraft China Edition, it seems that there's one big, slight controversy that I may or may not have missed in the original recording for this script, and that's the P. Diddy situation that this game actually has, that being the Minecraft China Edition. The game is known to have an issue with adults trying to contact minors on the game, pretty much the Dr. Disrespect drama, but on a much larger scale. Anyways, that's all I wanted to add. For PvZ, it seems that some people like it, some people don't, but the Chinese version does seem to have a fair bit more bugs compared to the international version of the game, lower sound quality, and nerfs to plants that make the playing field less diverse. As for Call of Duty Online, I'll be honest, I looked, but I could not find a single thing on this game about controversy. So I guess what we'll say is the game has been shut down, therefore it's a dead game. Cry about it. Anyways, if you like this video, make sure to smash that like button. Oh god, I've become a shell of my former self. And subscribe. My goal is 1,000 subs by the end of July, and if you can help me hit that, I'll be genuinely appreciative. If you want to see more unique and strange videos about games, comment down below if you have any ideas. And again, thank you for watching.